Good afternoon, third grade. Okay, so we are going to kind of move forward with talking about character traits. So yesterday we kind of were introduced before we had to go to lunch about character traits and how we learn about them in a text, right? So we talked about characters in a story specifically is what we started on, right? And how their traits can affect the story. Does anyone remember what I told you yesterday that you're going to be able to do by the end of this week? It's something that we're going to work on all week that we talked about yesterday. If you can remember this is kiss your brain if you can remember it. Yep, I can describe characters in a story and explain how they affect the sequence of the story. Okay, so that's what we're going to be working on throughout the rest of the week, but today we're kind of focusing just on character traits, okay? So, can anyone remember also what are character traits? Can you tell me what's the definition? What did we talk about yesterday? In your own words too. I'd love to hear some new ideas of something that in your own words you can tell me what character traits are. Maybe this will help some of you. I have them up on the board. Certain words that do what? Give me a thumbs up by your chest. Give you a couple seconds to think about it. Arms up. Who can tell me? Words that what? Yes, words that can describe what? What are we describing? It's kind of hard to write all the way down. Yep, we're describing a person, right? Specifically, we talked about our character. Describe a person that you can learn from text. You can learn about. Text or what? What else can we learn about? Remember we talked about there's two different kind of character traits we talked about that we can learn from about a character. Illustrations, right? Or pictures. All right, pictures. Yes, great job. Honestly, kiss your brain. Good job, everybody. Okay, so character traits are words that can describe a person that learn about from text or pictures, right? So that's how we learn about we can learn about. Forgot to add a little word in there. All right. Okay. So yeah, so I put some up here, right? What do we have here? Kind. I wrote patient, loving, confident. Those are just some that I thought of for examples for character traits, right? So when we think about a character, we said text, right? So if we are reading a story, I want you to think about it. Think about you're reading your favorite story, your favorite character from that story. I want you to think about that. If you're reading a story about your favorite character, what are some examples of character traits that we can describe? What are some examples of your favorite character? Anyone can come to mind. Someone that's happy? Yeah, okay, so that would be a good example. I'm going to help you. We're going to start off. What would that be? If you're happy or you're a joyful person, what do we call that? We call that the internal character trait, right? Thank you. It's hard to write sideways, right? Internal. What about, for example, one of my character traits, I have brown hair. Miss G has brown hair. What would that be, right? This is the external. Yes, good job. External, or kind of the outside of me, right? That's not on the inside, right? My brown hair is on the outside. You can see it, okay? So, for example, for Miss G, brown hair. Another example for me, I have green eyes, right? That would be another example. I'm old. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, yeah, I guess I would be, right? I'm old. I'm not young like you guys because you're in elementary school, so you guys are young. I'm the old one. Yeah. I'm tall, right? Taller than tall or short. I'd probably be put in tall category, right? So those are some external for me. So if I'm internal, I'm thinking about Miss G for internal character traits. Let's think. Let's think of an example. Okay, so say you were reading a story about me, and I go to the lake every summer, and we have this really, really tall rock that everyone jumps off of. It's really, really safe. But if I jumped off of that, I'd probably be a little bit adventurous, right? That's something that I'm trying. I'm trying new things. I'm not scared of heights, so I can call myself adventurous. So if you were reading about a character in a story and they did something like that, they'd probably be considered adventurous, right? I ask a lot of questions. I ask questions of you guys. You ask questions of me. Probably be a little bit curious. I'm a curious person. Right? Joy? What about like joyful? Would that be good? Like happy, joyful, right? So those are some examples. This vocabulary you all can use as a class. I'm going to have some of you work on thinking about, I want all of you to work on thinking about vocabulary, right? There's so many different words that we can use, and I'm going to help you by putting some of them on the board, right? Spelling, I understand. Adventurous, that's a long word. If you need help, try and sound it out yourself the first time. If you're really, really struggling, I will help you spell out the word, okay? But right now, that's what we're looking at. We're talking about our character traits, okay? So someone really, really quick, actually, I want you to turn to your partner. I want partner A to tell partner B what character traits means. What is the definition of a character trait in your own words? And then give me a thumbs up when you're done. Oh, I like what I'm hearing. Yep. Words that describe a person. Good job. 5, 4, 3. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Thank you, third grade. Okay, so partner B, one of the partner Bs, raise your hand and tell me, what did your partner A say? How did they describe character traits? Yeah, as words that describe a person. Yeah, right? That's what we talked about, right? Up here. Another one. Let me hear another one. Yeah. Yeah, right? Using pictures in a story to figure out what a person looks like. Yeah, we talked about that, right? External. We talked about external character traits. Exactly right. Okay, what are your questions so far on character traits that you have? What are your questions? Okay, we're going to move forward, and I want to make sure that we understand before we move forward. Because if we get to the next part and you have some questions, that's okay too. But I'd like to help out where we can, okay? Okay, so we did all together. I did some, you helped me with some of them, right? So I did it, we did it together. We are going to move forward a little bit, and I want you to, now it's going to be, you're going to be working with a partner, okay? I'm going to read a card, and I'm going to have you explain a character trait after I read that card, okay? After that, you're going to be doing yourself for character traits, okay? So I'm going to make sure before we start that, we'll make a big list of different vocabulary words that we can use, okay? But I want to make sure that everyone make sure that they have something on here that they can use, or if you have it all already in your head and you're ready to go when we move on to that part, amazing, okay? I just want to make sure that everyone has at least 2 or 3 words that they can use for their character traits, okay? And if you cannot think of anything, I am so happy to help think of some words for you, okay? I see you guys every single day. I know I could name 3 or 4 for each of you, okay? Do we use negative words? Should we? Probably not, right? I want us to lift ourselves up when we're thinking about these character traits. Is every character in a story a good character? No, right? So there are negative character traits, right? Deceitful, mean, angry, right? So that's going to happen. But for this activity today, when we're going to be doing our own character traits, I can think of 2 or 3 positive ones for every single one of you, and that's what we're going to do today, okay? When we move on to working on characters and stories, which we're going to move on later in the week, we're going to see some characters that are not so nice, okay? So, what are we going to do first? Tell me. Someone, tell me what are we going to do first? Yep, you're going to get with your partner. Yep, I'm going to read off a character trait card. Yep, I'm going to read off the Think, Pair, Share card. Yes, and then you are going to talk with that partner about what character traits that character might have, right? Thank you. Good job. After, what are we doing after? Yes, you are going to be doing your own character trait worksheet. You're going to be illustrating yourself. So you're going to draw yourself. So I don't have a different color with me, but like I would draw myself. I have my glasses on today. Smiling, happy. I just do a stick figure but if you have your markers, right? And you're going to be using your markers to color your hair. I'd put green for my eyes because I wrote that. I'm probably, right? I'm tall, so I'd maybe write, got long, tall, right? I want your illustration to match what you look like and match what you wrote for your external character traits, okay? I want you to write at least 2 external and 2 internal, right? I'll write them up here so you can remember 2 and 2, okay? Yes, yep, you can do more if you want, but right now this is what we're going to be having for 2 external, 2 internal, okay? Okay. Character traits for a certain character are any words that you want them to be, okay? We are going to be moving forward, and I'm going to have these listed up, okay? If you think of something different, that's okay. Raise your hand, and we'll add it to the board, okay? That's perfectly fine. That's why we're doing this, so we can make a list and share them all together, okay? We want to expand our vocabulary, right? We want to expand it. We want to make it bigger. That's why we're doing this for character traits. So when you're reading a story in 4th grade and 5th grade, and you're doing character traits, you've got these big words that you learned in 3rd grade that you can use, and your teacher's going to be really impressed, okay? Awesome. Okay, so we're going to move on. I want everyone to pair up, and we're going to move on to our Think, Pair, Share cards.